Tulips by Sylvia Plath. The tulips are too excitable. It is winter here. Look how white everything is, how quiet, how snowed in. I am learning peacefulness, lying by myself quietly, as the light lies on these white walls, this bed, these hands. I am nobody. I have nothing to do with explosions. I have given my name and my day clothes up to the nurses, and my history to the anesthetist, and my body to surgeons. They have propped my head between the pillow and the sheet cuff like a knife between white lids that will not shut. Stupid people, it has to take everything in. The nurses pass and pass. They are no trouble. They pass the way girls pass inland and in their white caps, doing things with their hands, one just the same as the another. So it is impossible to tell how many they are. My body is a pebble to them. They tend it as a water tends to the pebbles it must run over, smoothing them gently. They bring me numbness in their bright needles. They bring me sleep. Now I have lost myself. I am sick of baggage. My patent leather overnight case like a black pillbox. My husband and child smiling out of the family photo. Their smiles catch onto my skin, little smiling hooks. I have let things slip. A 30-year-old cargo boat stubbornly hanging onto my name and address. They have swept me clear of my loving associations, scared and bare on the green plastic pillowed trolley. I watched my tea set, my bureaus of linen, my books sink out of sight, and the water went over my head. I'm a nun now. I have never been so pure. I didn't want any flowers. I only wanted to lie with my hands turned up and be utterly empty. How free it is! You have no idea how free. The peacefulness is so big it dazes you. And it asks nothing, a name tag, a few trinkets. It is what the dead close on. Finally, I imagine them shutting their mouths on it like a communion tablet. The tulips are too red in the first place. They hurt me. Even through the gift paper, I could hear them breathe lightly through their white swaddlings like an awful baby. Their redness talk to my wound, it corresponds. They are subtle, they seem to float, though they weigh me down, upsetting me with their sudden tongues and their color. A dozen red lead singers round my neck. Nobody watched me before. Now I am watched. The tulips turn to me, and the window behind me, where once a day the light slowly widens and slowly thins, and I see myself flat, ridiculous, a cut paper shadow between the eye of the sun and the eyes of the tulips. And I have no face. I have wanted to efface myself. The vivid tulips eat my oxygen. Before they came, the air was calm enough, coming and going, breath by breath, without any fuss. Then the tulips filled it up like a loud noise. Now the air snags and eddies round them the way a river snags and eddies round a sunken rust red engine. They concentrate my attention that was happy, playing and resting without committing itself. The walls also seem to be warming themselves. The tulips should be behind bars like dangerous animals. They are opening like the mouth of some great African cat. And I am aware of my heart. It opens and closes its bowl of red blooms out of sheer love of me. The water I taste is warm and salt like the sea and comes from a country far away as health. Now let's listen to a brief summary of this poem, Tulips by Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath wrote Tulips in March of 1961 after having her appendix removed and received get well flowers from a friend. The speaker of the poem, hospitalized for an unspecified procedure, feels torn between her desire to stay in the peaceful world of the hospital and the need to return to the demands of normal life. More subtly, she feels competing urges to get well and remain sick, or even to live and die. A bucket of get well tulips with its loud blood red color comes to represent the pain and vividness of life itself. Tulips was first published in the New Yorker in 1962 and collected posthumously in Ariel in 1965. The red of these tulips seems too loud and intense for this quiet wintry setting. Look at how blank and serene things are here, as if covered in snow. I'm learning how to be serene. I'm staying as still as the light bathing these blank walls. This hospital bed, my own hands. I'm anonymous. I don't have any connections to the tulip's explosive red color. I have surrendered control of my clothing and identity to the nursing staff, surrendered my past to the specialist who gives me anesthesia, and surrendered my body to the doctors who operate on me. These hospital workers have placed my head between a white pillow and bedsheet, like an eye between two pale eyelids fixed wide open. Like the helpless pupil of an eye, my head has no choice but to process whatever it is exposed to. Nurses come and go and don't cause me any problems. Wearing white caps, they look like seagulls flying by. They all do manual tasks and look identical. So, I have no idea on how many of them work here. They take care of my body as gently as flowing water smooths small stones in its path. They bring me injections that make me numb and drowsy. Now that I have lost my normal life, I am sick of everything that was weighing me down. My black leather travel bag like a container for medications. My husband and child who are smiling in a photo by my hospital bed. Their smiles seem to snag me like hooks. I have let so much go. I'm pretty a 30-year-old freighter ship that's empty of everything but my name and address, which I'm holding on to tightly. The hospital staff has washed me clean of everything I cared about, naked and afraid on the green gurney with plastic pillows. I left behind my personal items, tea service, dressers full of linen, books, and slipped out of consciousness as if going underwater. Now, for the first time, I feel as pure as a nun. I never asked for any get well flowers. I just wanted to lie back, palms up, and feel nothing at all. You have no idea how liberating this experience is. The sense of calm is stunning, and all it asks is, in return, a name tag and a few other small items. This calm is what dying people experience in the end. I picture them swallowing it like a wafer in the Catholic rite of communion. The tulips are too red anyway, so red they hurt. I thought I could hear them breathing through their white wrapped paper like some terrible baby in swaddling clothes. Their redness matches and seems to interact with the redness of my surgical scar. They are complex, even though they seem to drift on the air. They feel heavy to me, their red tongue like petals weighing on my mind like a bunch of lead weights on my shoulders. I felt alone before, but now I feel as if the tulips are watching me, their heads turned toward me and toward the window where the sunlight gradually strengthens and fades each day. I feel silly and lacking in depth, like a shadow thin paper doll positioned between the sun's eye and the flower's eyes. I seem to have no identity. I have been wanting to get rid of my identity. The lively flowers seem to steal the air I breathe. Before I got the tulips, the air here was pretty peaceful. I would inhale and exhale it without any problems. But these red flowers seem to disrupt it loudly. The air seems to swirl around them like a river current swirling around a rusty underwater engine. They pull all my focus, whereas before I was playfully, blissfully unfocused. The hospital walls, too, seem to be warmed by the red flowers. These tulips should be caged like savage beasts. Their petals seem to widen like the jaws of some big African wild cat. I feel my heart beating and expanding and closing like a bowl full of red flowers because it loves my body so much. I taste my own tears, which are salty as the sea, and seem to come from a place as distant as my return to full health. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel.